Hello and welcome to Ocala Grand Prix. Hi, I'm your host, Tony Modica. As we look ahead to this episode, we'll have some kart tips from our drivers here, Jonathan Kotite and Dylan Gennaro. They'll show you how to get around this 0.6 of a mile track with some extra tricks. We'll also touch on our scholarship. We'll check in who's on top of our scholarship point standings. We'll have highlights from race number 3, exciting racing out of our fall-winter local series. Then we'll take a trip to Las Vegas with our team heading out there for the Super Nats, which brought in some very exciting racing from drivers all around the world. Now, here are some of the highlights from Las Vegas.
My favorite thing about this track is the high-speed, tight corners. It's a lot more physical and it allows for great racing.
This year is my first Super Nationals that I've ever done in my 6 years of racing. It was very hard and challenging. This track is a lot of fun. It's not what I'm used to in Ocala or all the other Florida tracks that I've been to. Mostly hairpins, tight, competitive, and these are brand new people that I've never seen before, and it was a lot of fun.
So very exciting racing from our OGP race team out in Vegas as we look forward to 2018 season. Going to be a lot of great traveling for our team. Now as we look ahead to race 3 from our fall-winter local series, exciting racing, and here are some of the highlights.
You know, real quick, buddy, I know you're eager to talk about this. Congratulations on a great win this weekend. We had 2 days of great racing. You're a winner. You got the medal on there. How much fun did you have this weekend racing out there?
Really fun. I really liked it, and I wanted to do another race next month.
Well, you'll be back here. I'm sure your dad will get back here. Now, do you have a favorite race car driver or anybody special that you like to follow?
Yeah, in F1, I like Sebastian Vettel racing for Ferrari.
Well, listen, so you know when you got a real racer when he picks an F1 driver for a favorite driver. Listen, AJ, congratulations. Joel, thank you very much, and good luck with your racing, okay? We appreciate it. Bella, now, first of all, how old are you?
7.
You're 7 years old. Now, this weekend you had doubleheader race weekend. You had a couple second-place finishes. Did you have a lot of fun racing this weekend?
I had lots of fun.
All right, now, how about your brother? Does he teach you anything, Samuel? Does he teach you any tricks or anything?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. You're not going to tell us what they are, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right, listen, congratulations on a great job this weekend. All right, Justin, how about your favorite driver? Do you have a favorite race car driver? I know your grandpa used to race cars and stuff. How about your favorite race car driver?
My favorite race car driver is my grandpa.
Is it? Good for you. Now, are you going to try to go on and race cars like your grandpa down the road, or?
Yes.
All right, and one more question. How do you like racing at Ocala Grand Prix in the kit car class? You seem to do very well out there, and you get around very well. Do you really enjoy it?
Yes.
All right, buddy. Listen, congratulations on a great job this weekend. Back-to-back racing. I thought you did a great job, and congratulations.
Very exciting racing from our fall-winter series here at OGP. Looking forward to the remainder of our local series coming up here in 2017. As we look ahead, after 3 races in our scholarship program, we look at our point standings right now. Evan Handberg, Rock Mini driver, on top after 3 races. Dean Dibdahl second, Tom Shoecraft III sits third, and Carson Walters fourth on our Rock Mini scholarship point standings. Move it over to Rock Junior. Right now, Bryce Haynes, your leader after 3 races, Cody Crooker second, and Jordan Harris still in the pack. Jordan still has a shot at that scholarship as all these drivers battling hard to get that scholarship here in 2017. Again, you wonder, how do these drivers get around OGP 0.6 of a mile track here in Ocala? Well, let me tell you, I have 2 drivers going to show you how to get around this track, where to brake, where to pass, how to get around the 0.6 of a mile track. Jonathan Kotite and Dylan Gennaro going to show us how to do it here.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan Kotick, driver coach for Ocala Grand Prix.
My name is Dylan Gennaro. I'm a team driver for Ocala Grand Prix.
Today we're here at Ocala Grand Prix. We're going to be bringing you kart tips on different ways to go around the track as well as passing. So there's 3 basic parts of the corner we're going to go into first. There's the entry, which is the first part of the corner. The next part is the apex, which is the center. And then the last part of the corner is the exit. So the entry part of the corner is where you brake and begin to turn in. Your apex is the center of the corner, where you're going to be down as low as you can in the center of the part of the track. And then your center to exit is where you're going to be getting back to the throttle, opening up your hands, and driving to the next corner. So I'll let Dylan go into the fast track with hairpin circuit first.
So turn 1 is a wide sweeping corner. It is full speed. You want to be on the gas as much as possible, and then just it's a small amount of turning into the corner. You don't want to turn too much because then you'll be too narrow in the corner and you'll kill all your speed. So there's a kink in turn 1, and that's where you want your apex to be, which is the center of the corner, and that's where you want to almost touch the curb. You want to not slide, but you want to let the cart drift out a little bit towards about mid-track, maybe a little bit more, and then start to turn back to the left of the track so you can get set up for the second corner, which is turn 2, which is the middle of the chicane. And the apex is a little bit past halfway, which is almost the center of the corner. So you want your car to almost touch the curb right at that point. And then with that, you want to keep turning towards the right so you can get set up for turn 3, which is the exit of the chicane. And you want to it is the center of the corner there, the apex. And then right when you get to that point, you want to open up your hands and get on the gas.
So next corner is going to be turn 4, which is the kink. That corner is typically really fast in a kart, so you want to carry as much speed as you can through it into the tree. So with the kink, you want to be out to the right side of the track, bringing the cart down to the apex, right along the curbing, the red and white on the inside, and then letting the cart drift out to about the center of the track, carrying good momentum through the corner. Then you're going to bring the cart from the mid-track over to the left into the tree corner. This is probably the trickiest corner here at Ocala Grand Prix, just because you can overshoot the corner and hurt your exit into the showcase. So the key part of the tree corner is getting the cart slowed down, turned, and back to the throttle to get a good run. So a good reference point is the red line, so you want to be coming in to the left braking at the red line, turning in, finding your apex, again on the right where the red and white curbing is at, right down to the apex, center of the corner. Then from the center, you're going to be opening up your hands, seeing to the exit, back to throttle, getting a really good run into showcase. For showcase, you want to bring the cart over to the right, getting a good run out of tree, setting up all the way to the right, bringing the cart down to the apex, carrying good momentum, a little brake, back to the throttle, and setting up for the straightaway.
We have many different track layouts. One of them contains the hairpin. It's a really tough part of the track. It really shows what the driver can do and what the driver knows about how to drive, and Jonathan's going to explain that.
So one of the toughest parts on the track is called the hairpin. So you have the first part, which is the left, and then the second part, which is the right. So leading up to the hairpin is the chicane and the bus stop. So you want to make sure you get a really good run out of that onto that short little back straight. That will bring you into the hairpin. So you want to make sure you get a late hard brake into that left. So you want to be on the right side of the track, feeding the wheel into the corner, getting down to the apex, which is your red and white curbing, which is your center of the track. So you want to get the cart brought down to there, and then you want to get back to power, allowing the cart to drift about 3/4 of the way out of the track, out to the white line, and then you want to bring the cart light brake, center of the track, entering the second part of the hairpin, which is the right. So you want to carry good speed into that, a little brake, feeding the wheel to a really slow corner, and then the key part is to get a good run into the tree. So that means you want to get the cart over to the right, into the kink, light brake, maybe a little lift, down to the rubber on the left at your apex against the red and white curbing, and then back to power, getting a good drive off.
So some very big tips from Jonathan and Dylan. Really like the way they presented themselves and working around this track. Again, great tips by those two promising drivers. Do you ever wonder, how old and how do I get started in the world of karting? Well, our next segment will feature some drivers who got started as early as age 5. Very excited, looking forward to this next segment.
Joe, talk a little bit about how you got your son AJ involved. Now he's here at Ocala Grand Prix this weekend running in the kid karts. What made you choose to get into karting versus the typical sports, as I said, t-ball, soccer, and other sports? What got you into AJ and got him out here at Ocala Grand Prix?
All right, so it started with AJ, started riding the Power Wheels around the house, and you know, he was very adept. We were doing wheelies with the Power Wheels at 3 years old, so I knew he liked cars. We have a friend of ours who actually introduced us, hey, come with us one weekend, we're gonna go out to a track and we're gonna rent some kid karts. And he was 6 years old at the time, so I said, all right, we'll go. This was last April. And we went out there and we had a blast. He really loved it so much. He felt very natural. He felt like this is where he wanted to be. So we put aside all the other sports that he was doing, and we really started to dedicate some more time towards this. So we would go and rent again, and we did that probably 2 times, and after the second time I ended up buying a used cart. And you know, it was a small investment, but you know, he pushed me more than I was really ready to do it. So it ended up with that push, that motivation from renting and just playing around at a track. We decided last year, we came to OGP for the first time, was race 4 last, it was the spring, summer, yeah. And he actually had some really good times, and he, you know, he finished towards the bottom, but we knew we were just getting started. So all summer we were out at the track. We even came here. We were practicing, put a lot of time in, and it actually came to fruition. And today, second win, so he's doing really good.
Kids involved in racing, again, Jaime Iguas. And Jaime, again, you're involved in racing. Not only is your daughter Isabel running in kid karts, but you also have a son, Samuel. Tell us a little bit about how you got your 2 kids involved in racing, and what do you think about the youngsters getting started so young in kid karts?
Thank you, Tony. No, I've always followed racing, and I just admire the passion and everything that drives these kids to get better and better every time. So I started with my son, and just to watch him grow through, you know, kid cars and coming here every race and try harder and harder, that really motivates me. And so yeah, we all do it. I have to get better at doing what I do, helping him out and coaching him, and he has to get better at training. So as a family, we take this as an activity that we all have to get the best out of it here.
This is a great example too. Now you having the 2 kids in there. We watched Samuel come through kid karts. Now Isabel, your daughter, in kid karts. how much is he adapted now, moving up to the next level? And obviously he's now with the faster kids, but how much have you seen him improve coming from kid karts? And obviously the training is such a big part of being safe on a kart.
Yeah, it's all about how comfortable he feels out there on the, on the track, and his confidence. So obviously, Kid Kart was a good start. Back then, we had a nice group of drivers, and they're all now racing in Mini. So it's just, it helps him. Obviously, he's get better and better, and he's just being comfortable and confident. So open-minded to hear whatever advice I have to give him. So it's just a second nature for him.
Maybe as they get into motorsports, people like freak out right away. How could you put a little 5-year-old kid in a go-kart like that? But how do you take that as far as putting your kids out there like that in the karts as far as the safety issues?
Everybody here is concerned about safety. I think OGP has a very strict program where they're actually coaching them. And the kids, because they come here and practice, they pay attention what they're doing. So they kind of respect each other, and they're looking for each other even though they're racing. So it's not, they're serious. They know that this is a serious sport. Everybody's coming here to win and putting a lot of time and effort. So they want to do the right thing. For instance, my son, when first time he was learning to ride a bike, he had already been riding karts for like 2 years. And when I put him on the bike without a helmet, he thought it was going to be dangerous. And so he's actually feels safer on a go-kart because everything he has around, and he knows that the people that he's racing with also know what they're doing. So it's all about practice and how everything is set up here. So.
Okay, and how about Samuel being the older one, and even Isabella? How about them working with the father? Do they listen? Do they take the advice from Dad?
Yeah, well, that's the tough part because it's a competition. We also have to get the best out of it, but the bottom line is got to be fun. So the minute you start stressing out or they start, taking the fun out of it, you can tell right away that they stop listening. So that's what we try to do. My wife comes here. This is a family event for us. We stay here all day. The people that I race with, I've known them for 4 years, so they're my family too. So that's what we look forward to. And then, you get advice from a friend, I give them an advice. So we all try to help each other and get the best out of it.
As we talk to more people involved in how they got started in karting, of course, one of the popular places to start here at Ocala Grand Prix is in the kid karts. Joining us today is driver Justin Harris and, of course, his father, Jason Harris. Jason, talk a little bit about how you got involved with racing here at Ocala Grand Prix.
Well, actually, my dad's been racing his whole life. He's always been around racetracks and stuff like that, so he kind of got out of it. And then he kind of came around here and, started checking everything out. And so we started coming up with him here and there, watched a few races, and then we started, to rent some karts and so forth, and he loved it. Something, that's kind of in my dad's blood, so he wanted to kind of hand that down, get them to work with their hands, teach them how to work with motors, so it was good all around.
All right, now you say he's 7 years old. How long has he actually been racing, and when did he actually get into a kart? Let's just say maybe not competitively, but when did he first get into a kart and strap it on and get going?
I would say it was just about 2 years ago. We were doing it here, again with the karts too, we dialed it down for him so he could just kind of cruise around at his own speed. Right. And he loved it. And it's about 2 years ago that he started doing that.
What is your big safety concern when your son is out there?
Going at their own speed, you can dial back those karts so that he can get used to the track. And there's the safety gear that they have to put on. There's a lot of safety gear, top-notch gear, and I think with kid karts and I think everything is just geared around safety with the kids, and the way that kart's built, there's really nothing you can do to those things that they can really flip over or anything like that. It just won't happen.
How good is the program here, and how much do you like the program in the kid karts? How do you feel about that, the start here at Ocala Grand Prix with their kid kart program?
Well, believe it or not, we visited all the tracks in Florida before we decided to come to OGP, and we've been here for 2 years, but we went to West Palm, we went to Orlando, we checked all of them, and we felt that this was the best organized and the safest for the kids. The camaraderie, the staff that works here, they're always willing to help. They're always willing to help out. Even though he's racing on his own too, he's learning that team sport. Because these kids that are together, they're always high-fiving each other after, rooting each other on. So, they're learning. Even though they're not in a team sport, they're still learning this.
And it's cool to see the kids after racing. They're all throwing the football together. They're all sitting down at lunch. They're all hanging out, which is really, really a great thing.
Now we're going to give you guys some kart tips on how to make some passes. There's really 3 great opportunities to drive and make passes around Ocala. That's down the front straightaway, into the tree corner, into the showcase. But also, the hairpin's also a great opportunity as well. So some tips to remember when you make a pass: you want to make sure you present yourself, so that means you're alongside the other driver, letting them know you're there so you won't crash. And the other tip is don't be on the outside. Please make sure you're on the inside, and that'll guarantee that you make the pass complete. So you'll get in the inside, brake a little bit deeper, make the pass, get to run in the next corner, and then hey, could be leading the race, taking the win. So I'll let Dylan talk about some good places to pass.
So when you go down a straightaway, you want to be behind the person, getting ready for the pass, getting in their slipstream, taking the draft, so you get a good run on them because there's less wind resistance on you. Pull up next to the person, make yourself known, and then you'll have the pass there. And then going towards the tree turn, you want to just point straight. Like they'll be setting up, you just go straight. You'll have a shorter distance around the track, you'll gain on them, and brake a little bit softer or a little bit later. And then if the person tries to fight for the outside and tries to not give up that position as easily, you want to just show that you're taking that position, show a little more assertion, and just go a little bit more towards the outside so they'll back off a little bit. And then towards the showcase, if you want to pass, you just take a shorter line than they do and brake a little bit deeper or a little bit softer. And then if they try to fight for the outside again, just show your dominance, go a little bit more towards the outside and take that position.
So that's one of the important things about making the corner. Obviously you're going to be a little bit narrower on the entry of the corner because you're making the pass, but still you need to get down to your apex and let the cart drive off the corner and find your exit. So that's like what Dylan was saying, taking away that driver's line and fighting for position to take the win.
And another thing, if you pass someone and they're on the outside, they can cross you up. They can go from the outside, go to the inside, and pass you. So when you take that position from them, you want to go really slow, so when they try to cross you up, they have to hit you in the back, and then I'll give you a little boost off the corner.
Joining us today is Jonathan Kotick. Jonathan is a Ocala Grand Prix driver coach. Jonathan, great to see you again as always, and really glad to have you here today.
Great, I'm glad to be on.
All right, talk a little bit about driving coach. What exactly does a driving coach do here at OGP, preparing drivers for their racing career?
So a driving coach really brings the best out of a driver, really making sure that they know the basics and are focused on the race weekend. So you have your beginners, your intermediate drivers, and your advanced. So with the beginner drivers, you really want to make sure they know the basics, how to really make the corner, hit your apexes, which is the center of the corner like we talked about in kart tips. And then you have your intermediate drivers, so you're kind of going a little more in depth with the technique and skill. And then you have your advanced drivers where you're really using the data and the video and all the tools really to bring the driver to the top of their game.
And it's extremely important to have a driving coach as you work your way through a racing career to, as you said, start at the beginning, learning certain things, but building up through a career. Really, drivers who are experienced do even still use a driving coach.
Yeah, a lot of the top drivers use driving coaches every day. They kind of work with them, kind of become family members more or less, kind of getting to know the in and outs, what makes them feel happy, what makes them feel sad. So then when it's really down to game time, they really can get them in the zone.
And you talk about the experience that you had going back to many years ago, Jonathan, starting out here at OGP, joining the team at age 15. You were a senior driver with the team. Tell us a little bit how you got started and joined the team here back several years ago.
Yeah, so I actually got started a little later in karting than most of the kids. So when I got picked up, it really gave me a great opportunity to really refine my skill and come out here every race weekend and just drive, pound laps. So that was kind of one of the tough thing was, like I mentioned, starting a little bit behind, but with the opportunity here at Ocala Grand Prix that I had with being a team driver, really was able to come out here, drive, and then work my way up the ranks and then have success.
How big is that, learning the skill of social media and able to talk in front of a camera, be able to speak, and how that comes in such a part with sponsors?
That's a really great point. Not only is the driving big, the off-track actions are even bigger. So you're more or less the face of the company that you're representing, whether it's through sponsorship or endorsement. So you have to make sure you're able to speak well, present yourself well, and just really represent the sponsor of how they want to be represented. So whether on TV, always having a smile, that always helps out. And or like signing autographs, taking the time to talk with people is really big too. So yeah, being able to really speak outside the car is huge.
You talk about the series in the 1600 series. Talk a little bit about the difference coming out of a kart and getting into something like that. As far as the speeds are remarkable. And then you have the G-forces. Obviously, they pick up quite a bit. Talk a little bit about the difference coming out of a kart into a car like that.
So it's actually, the biggest thing is mostly the weight, because you go from a go-kart, which including yourself is like 360 pounds, to a race car, which is over 1,000. So the biggest thing is more or less the weight, because you go through the corner and you really feel the car roll and move. But yeah, with the speed too, twice, 3 times the amount of speed you're in a go-kart. So there is quite the big difference between the karts and the cars. Did have the opportunity to race F1600, which is Formula Ford on-wing car this year. And that was a really great step because it really taught you the basics of how to drive the car with your feet, which is really key moving forward. And also had the opportunity to test a USF 2000 car, which is a wing car. And that was really impressive, the speed and the amount of downforce and speed you really could carry through the corners. But no, karting's a really great platform for yourself to learn and really learn the key components to really work your way up into the motorsports.
When you pull up to a place like the Indianapolis track, what is it like, though, when you know the history of all the Indy 500s, all the great names? We talked about different names in IndyCar racing. Talk about the feeling to get out there, and then you see the brickyard with the bricks and things like that. That's just got to be amazing, Jonathan.
Oh, it's so cool, especially like with the Indianapolis having the bricks. I know I had actually won one of the races this year and got to drink the milk on the podium, but that was an amazing feeling, especially when you come through the tunnel for the first time. It just an awe moment when you're there, but no, just an amazing feeling to be at Indianapolis.
And you have to be very proud of yourself too, Jonathan, for the stages that you've gone through, and then you get to that point. Does it really settle in? Wow, I'm actually doing this, and basically it's your job. It's a professional thing that you're around 24 hours a day in racing. You just got to be amazed at how far you've come and the thoughts that go through your mind.
Oh, it just still I can't get past how far I've come, just kind of waking up every morning, just being so thankful for having all the opportunities. So like I said before, just working hard, it'll pay off. So especially once you start working your way higher up, the harder you work, the easier, not saying it might get a little harder, but the harder you work in the beginning, it'll pay off in the end.
And you notice, we touched on that, the G-forces. When you get into a car like that, you notice the G-forces. What is your workout regimen?
Oh yeah, I'd have to say I'd train at the gym once or twice a day if I can, and then try to go every single day of the week that I'm not in the car. But yeah, the G-forces are huge, especially with the wing cars. You're just carrying so much more speed through the corner. I know, unlike the go-kart, you're belted in, so you're basically a part of the car. And yeah, you have to train, you have to eat right, and just make sure you're mentally focused too to get in the car because you're going a lot quicker.
It is great, Jonathan. As we get ready to wrap it up, though, what do you expect to see now as we work our way toward?
For my career path, I really want to work my way up into the Mazda road to Indy. There's really great opportunities there to get an IndyCar, so really going to push to try and get behind the wheel of a USF 2000 car next year, and then work my way through Pro Mazda, Indy Lights, and then hopefully up into IndyCar. So,
I mean, I got to just tell you, congratulations and good luck to what you've done, and thanks so much for everything you've done here at Ocala Grand Prix, because you've been a big part of, not only your racing career, but a lot of other, people here at the track and drivers learning around. But it is really incredible what you've done and how much you put into the racing field.
Oh, thank you. No, it's so great to come back and see everybody too at the karting track. So it's a really great time. I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, hope you enjoyed today's show. Very exciting, and looking forward to more shows coming your way. As always, follow us on Facebook at Ocala Grand Prix and visit the website at ocalagrandprix.com. Until next time, I'm Tony Modica.